This video is about installing a BennVenn LCD replacement monitor in an Atari Lynx. So the Atari Lynx is a great handheld console. I used to own one when I was probably about 20 years old. Got to university, and I remember playing this fondly in between lessons. Used to eat batteries, but at the time, to be able to game on the go, it was a great little device with some really good games that were available for it. The screen, however, leaves a lot to be desired. The quality of the LCD is poor. The backlight on it isn't the best, and you really do struggle to get a good picture in some light conditions. So today there's a couple of aftermarket LCD screens. Previously I've installed a McWill screen, and that looks amazing, but it was fairly expensive, and it needs a lot of soldering work. There's a lot of wires that you need to solder to get that thing working. I'd seen recently that there was another screen on the market from BennVenn, and this one was almost a drop-in replacement. There was no soldering required at all, and it was also a lot cheaper than the McWill one. So I ordered one. Came from Australia, took a while to get here, but this video is about installing that screen. Alright, so let's open it up and get into it. There's an orange 3D printed mount that comes with it. Also comes with a little sticker that is advertised in AtariGamer.com. Well worth checking out this website. Some history of the Lynx, lots of information about the games, ROM downloads, links to the screen as well. So yeah, AtariGamer.com, well worth checking out. So this is the LCD itself, really nice and compact. It's got a little built-in backlight, so it really cuts down the size. When we get into the Lynx later, you'll see the size of the old style backlight with the old school light bulb that it's got. So this is the LCD. It just sits in this mount, and then that goes obviously inside the Lynx itself. So I think it's about time to start to open up the Lynx and get the screen swapped over. Unplug the power supply. Obviously don't want that in while we're working on it. Battery cover comes out. Speeded it up here. I don't usually work this fast. So this is a little screw that allows you to remove the piece of plastic that holds the batteries in place. Two little rubbers that expose the 4 screws that you need to undo the Atari Lynx case. They're just held on with some double-sided tape, so depending on the state of that, you can replace that fairly easy when you stick the rubbers back on later. With all the screws off, it should just prise apart. There are a couple of clips, so just be careful, but it does come apart quite easily. Make sure you have got your game out, otherwise it won't separate. And then that's the battery port that just lifts out there. So the main board is connected with 2 wires and 2 ribbon cables. One of the wires connects to the speaker, and the other wire is the power for the old backlight. And the 2 ribbon cables, you've got one that sends the video to the screen, and the other one is for the buttons. So I'm taking out the ribbon cables here. It's just that sort of style of connector that you have to lift up gently. So lift the top of the connector up. If you look closely, you'll see that there's a little indent to be able to get a screwdriver in, and just raise the tab up. And once the tab's up, it will allow you to gently pull the ribbon cables out. So just got the ribbon cables loose, one of them's come out, and I'm just taking out the wire connectors here. Just be really careful with the ribbon cables. As long as you take it slow and quite gentle, they will come out. But yeah, you don't want to obviously damage those cables. So there you go. There's the motherboard separated from the Lynx, and you can see here now how big the old style LCD housing is. And most of that silver bit that you can see, that's the old school backlight. So it's held on with 4 screws. Phillips screwdriver, comes out fairly easy. Just undo the 4 screws and the whole thing, the screen and the backlight housing, all lifts away as one. Make sure you wrap the old screen up nice and carefully. You never know, you might want to go back to it at one point, take it back to original, or you might get another Lynx that's got a broken screen. So wrap it up nice and carefully, and then give the screen or the glass a good clean. I'm cleaning front and back here just so I can see where the dirt is. A bit of IPA, but yeah, while you're in here you might as well get any bits of dust or any marks off the glass. The trickiest bit here was working out how to put the screen and the mount in place without the screen falling away from the mount. But once you've worked out the orientation, the best way that I found was to take the screen, place the screen on top of the glass in the right position, and then just add the mount over the top of it. Make sure the holes line up for the screws, and then start to put the 4 screws back that you took out earlier through the holes that have been provided in the mount. So at this point then I realised that I was missing something. I didn't have a cable that allowed me to connect the screen to the Atari Lynx. So quick look back at the website and the order, and I realised that it was meant to come with a little ribbon cable. So checked in the packaging, and there it was. So it was in the packaging with the screen. So this is just a comparison between the size of the old screen and the new screen. Just a huge difference in size, just because of that old school backlight. So this has to come off. This is an inductor. You can desolder it, or you can just clip it off. I've gone for the clip off method, so I've used a screwdriver to prise it up away from the board, and then some wire cutters to cut each leg. There's 2 legs, just cut each leg, and then finally it will come away from the board. Next step is to install the new ribbon cable. So this is reverse of removing it before. So lift the tab up on the plastic connector, insert the ribbon cable gently, make sure it pushes all the way down, and then once you're happy it's in place, push the plastic tab in to lock it in place. Now we're going to connect the button ribbon cable. So again, make sure that it's lifted up a bit, the tab, slot it into place, push it down nice and tight, and then push the plastic connector in to lock it. Now we can start to present the board back to the case. So just connecting the speaker wire now. There's no backlight wire anymore, that's gone. That's just provided via the new ribbon cable. So what's left to do is to connect the new ribbon cable that's now attached to the Lynx motherboard. That needs to be attached to the LCD. On the LCD there's a little flip up tab, so flip it up so it's open, then try and get your fingers in here and present that ribbon cable into the slot, and once it's in the right place, push down the plastic connector to lock it down and lock it in. So you go, it's in the right place, so I'm now just pushing the tab down to lock it into place. And I can push the motherboard back into the case and get it all lined up then. So next goes the battery housing. It just slots in over the battery terminals and is secured by a single screw in its centre. Then the bottom half of the case just goes back, clips together. So I'm not going to screw it down at this point. I'm going to give it a test. So I'm just putting a game cartridge in, give it some power. Let's turn it on. There we go. Very nice. And the brightness control still works. That is a massive difference from where I started with the original screen. Colours are so vibrant, it's just night and day. Really pleased with that. So all that's left now is to put the screws back in. Put the battery cover back on. Put the little rubber grips on as well to cover up the screw holes, make it look nice and tidy, and that is it. So all that's left is now a side-by-side comparison with an original Atari Lynx 2. One of them has the old screen and one of them has the new screen. Can you tell which is which? Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here today, please don't forget to subscribe and inspire me to make more videos. Goodbye.